All right, friends, we're gonna do an LED application on my middle finger. Sorry about the middle finger, but I'm gonna attempt this strip right here. I really want it to be a mummy, but this one's a little bit too small. I'm gonna attempt to stretch it and see if we can get it to fit. Stretching is key in doing your LEDs to get them to fit the best, to keep it so that you don't have hair snags and all the things happening. So we're gonna take this little mummy, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my middle finger and I'm going to align the strip here on the side, okay? So I'm lining it up on the side perfectly with the edge of my nail, and I'm trying to also eyeball it so that when I pull it across, it's gonna follow directly with the curve of my nail bed here, okay? So once I have it in position, I'm kind of just gonna press it down just a little bit so that when I pull on it from the opposite side, it is gonna stay in place, okay? So I am going to take this side of the strip, I'm gonna pinch it, and I'm gonna look at it here so I know what I'm doing, and I'm going to pull it across. If your strip doesn't stretch, try some heat. You shouldn't need much heat at all. Literally, like, you could take a hair dryer right before you're getting ready to pull it across and blast it with like 1,000, 2,000 seconds of heat, okay? You shouldn't need to, especially like in the summer months, but more so in the winter when your strips are feeling a little bit more rigid. They're not as warm and toasty. It does help blasting it with a little bit of heat, okay? So we're gonna pull it across so that it lines up directly with the other side of the nail bed. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this tail at the corner and we're gonna give it a tug. So I'm gonna pull down, I'm gonna pull out and kind of down, and I'm also gonna repeat that on this side. So I'm gonna tug out, pull down, and then I'm also, one more time, gonna do that in the middle. So kind of out and downwards. I'm pulling it downward so that it's sticking to the tip. So if you look closely, it perfectly follows the shape of my nail bed, okay? And this strip was a little bit small, so I had to do a little bit of stretching on it. It's better to pick one that's smaller and stretch it to fit than pick one that's too large and it's overlapping skin. Overlapping skin or cuticles is the worst thing you can do with LEDs. So again, prep work is key. Pushing back so you have zero sort of that invisible cuticle, you know, on your nail bed that can make or break a manicure. All right, so from this point, if you have length to your natural nail, what I do like to do is kind of press up on the natural nail, press down on the strip, just to make sure there's no gap and there's no ramping up of the LED once I cure it. You can take a cuticle pusher and go around the edges and make sure everything is flat, because once we cure it, there's no going back. It is how it is, okay? So very important, hide your leftovers in your little zipper pouch when you go to cure. Take your lamp, you're gonna plug it directly into the wall or an extension cord, not into anything like USB, like your computer, a lamp. Sometimes recliners have those USB ports. Make sure it's plugged into something where it's gonna give it enough power to operate the lamp, okay? So important thing, I like to do one nail at a time, just so that I know I am making it perfect and I'm not going to have any shifting in this strip as I go to put the others on. So I hold my lamp like this with my other fingers out of the light, because over curing can actually cause chipping to a gel strip. So you want to make sure you're only curing your one finger. So put your others out of the way, cover them up, whatever you have to do. If this is your last finger, make sure you get the others on top, or again, you can cover with like a washcloth or something like that. But all right, so we're cured. And just so you know, the strip is still gonna be bendable. It doesn't have to be rock solid after you cure it, okay? It's still perfectly fine. One pass of the lamp is all you should need. So by this point in time, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take clippers, scissors, whatever is easiest for you, and you're going to trim your LED to, I like to trim it just past the length of my natural nail. If you can see, that's where I've trimmed it, okay? These don't add length to your nail. They go right on top of the natural nail. So the last step is I'll take a nail file, and a lot of times I'll use a grittier file. Even our press-on file is better, in my opinion, than the LED file that comes in the package. You can tell the difference. One's really thin, press-on's thicker and grittier. This one is a lot smoother. You're gonna take a while to file off excess with that little thin file. So I grab a grittier file, but I kind of go at an angle underneath like this, and I first perfect the corners, okay? So I go and do this corner, and it just takes a couple passes, and you wanna be gentle with the filing, okay? You don't wanna go to town on it. I usually hold the file kind of like loose at the end. You'll flip, do the same thing on the other side, and then you will file and remove excess on the tip, on the very end in the center, until it is the exact length of your natural nail. Again, if you have the LED longer than your natural nail, it will most likely end up chipping off on you, okay? So make sure it is perfectly the same length as your natural nail. It should not take much work at all to get it there, but that is literally all you do, and then you would move on to the next nail, okay? So it's a lot easier to perfect one at a time rather than just going in and doing like your 4 fingers and then your thumb. That's the most efficient and perfect what? I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm just looking at this and I'm drooling. Words are not coming out. So let me know if you need help. The only other tip that I have for you is to stay out of water, oils, lotions, anything like that for the first 2 hours after you apply. Obviously, I need to stop talking because we're getting tongue twisted all across the board. So anyways, have fun. I hope you love your LED gel strips.